In this lesson we are going to build a flower, specifically a rose flower. You can see that I prepared the petal and some simplified material for that purpose, and I can just briefly doodle what I want to achieve. So I will doodle the project demands. The project is quite simple. I want to create a flower and a single control that will really control the opening of the flower. So let's say from 0 to 100. So I have a slider here and the flower will open in a realistic manner. Let's get rid of that little guy, delete it, and we can start. The most difficult thing about this setup is actually making it look really natural and random. And you can see I will use the Mo spline as a base for building my flower. Let's change some settings here. I think it should be at least in half, so 100, maybe even more, let's say 50. So let's say it's roughly the length of the petal itself. Let's create some segments here. Let's try with 10 first, and we will see how that works. And I will increase this angle H all the way. So once I bend this guy, so let's go maybe all the way here, we will change something. So let's play with this spline graph, and actually I will hide the petal for now, and here under object will enable line, so it's much more easier to see. So basically what I'm trying to achieve now is to create a skeleton structure of that rose flower. And let's go back to that simple tab, and you can see how I really picked up the pace on this guy. So it should be like this, and really picked up the pace because I'm really expecting from you that you are able to understand what I'm doing at the moment. Let's go to negative direction. Let's maybe go even to 50. That would be pretty solid, I believe. And I will disable this maintain angle and I will get different results. So feel free to experiment with these guys. So I'm just building the basic structure. Let's go here to angle P. Let's maybe set this to negative direction. So I'm getting these guys going into a circular helix fashion inside. Let's go maybe -30. So something like this. And you see I'm having problems with framing my scene since this little guy doesn't work on this Mo spline, but if it has some sort of a geometry to project to, it will work. There is one for the maximum to fix, and I really hope this petal won't bug you. Let's actually hide it. So now what I want to achieve is to bring more segments inside, which will actually be the placeholders for the petal itself. So let's try something like 20, maybe even more. Let's try 30, and I have to go over this 360 value, and you will see why. So I'm really wrapping sort of things around, and I can go quite high. Let's go to maybe, let's go even to 1000. So it's a really good idea to use round numbers, since it is much more easier to visualize things and remember certain setups. So this could pretty much work. I'm pretty sure this will be good enough. And this Mo spline guy really hides in itself a potential for a complete plants and trees module. So it's a really fantastic. This is one of my favorite tools inside Cina for this. So let's continue. I can now unhide this guy and actually put it on these splines. And to achieve that, the best idea here and the solution for this guy is actually to use a spline wrap. So I will hold down the shift key, and you see this made this spline wrap the child of the Mo spline, and I really wanted to make this spline wrap a child of the rose. So tiny mistake, hopefully you won't mind. Now, since this Mo spline is just a spline, we can wrap this rose petal with this spline wrap onto it. So we will do just that. So let's drop this mouse spline in the spline slot, and you will see some crazy thing happening. And there's one thing that I will change here, and that is this banking. Now actually rotate it. Let's go exactly 180 degrees. So we get some sort of a really nice starting shape, which we will refine with this mouse spline settings here. Let's first here under bend, you'll see that this maximum value will really serve as a opening and closing control. So I can right click on it and do a add to HUD command. You're not really able to see the menus here once I right click, but that is due to the recording since the screen is cut off. I will right click here and do a show always command so we don't lose access to this setting. So I can fold this and try to make this a little bit more realistic. So let's try and add some twist to it. So maybe 30 or something like that. And it may seem a little bit odd, but here under this spline wrap, you just have to choose a proper axis for wrapping onto this spline, because if I disable the preview in the viewport of my polygon object, the pedal, you can see that this looks really solid. The distribution of those splines is really good. So let's actually search for the right axis. So X is not good. Let's try with Y, which is definitely not good. Let's try with Z, and you can see how this is much better. Now we are already in some sort of a refinement stage, so I can try to maybe offset this a little bit, and you will see once that this is in complete spline mode, it will basically move them one by one. So let me show you that you can see how sort of peeling effect or something like that. So I will change this to separate segments because I want to offset these guys a little bit just to have more space here and really to prevent those intersections to be so vivid. Let's go even let's go with 30. Seems that 30 is a nice number for this setup. Also, I will extend the end, so let's go even 120 and try to refine a little bit with these other settings here. Here under this extend, you can uncheck this smooth it, because it will really curve and accentuate all these effects. For example, if you enter something ludicrously high here, so let's say 500, you will get more of a spiraling effect. I hope that makes sense. So you can even leave it at 500. It really looks solid enough. Maybe even not. Let's go with the default 100 value. Now we pretty much have a solid flower. Of course you can I'll just hide the mouse spline. Of course you can spend a lot more time to refine the setup, but what is important here is to understand and learn the concept behind it. And that's about it. That is our rose flower. We can go to our next project.